Flight 232 is flying peacefully at 37,000 feet. Outside the window, the clouds stretch endlessly beneath the flight. Passengers are laughing. Children are asleep. Flight attendants are serving drinks. Everything feels perfectly normal. Then suddenly, bang! A deafening explosion tears through the aircraft. The cabin shakes so violently that luggage crashes from the overhead bins. The plane suddenly drops. People scream. In the cockpit, the pilots grab the controls. They pull. Nothing happens. They push. Still nothing. Every flight control has stopped responding. The aircraft is no longer being flown by the pilots. It's falling through the sky. For the next 44 terrifying minutes, nearly 300 people are trapped inside a plane that no one knows how to control. Families whisper their final goodbyes. Passengers write farewell messages. And on the ground, emergency crews prepare for what they believe will be a disaster with no survivors. But what happened next shocked the entire world. It became one of the most unbelievable survival stories in aviation history. This is the terrifying true story of United Airlines Flight 232. Before we begin, if you enjoy real-life documentaries, incredible survival stories, and fascinating engineering mysteries, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next story. Now, let's go back to July 19th, 1989, when an ordinary flight turned into one of the greatest aviation battles ever fought. United Airlines Flight 232 departed from Denver, Colorado, heading for Chicago, with a final destination of Philadelphia. On board were 296 people. Among them were families on vacation, business travelers, children, and an experienced flight crew led by Captain Haynes. The aircraft was a McDonnell Douglas DC-10, one of the largest passenger jets of its time. Everything about the flight was routine. The weather was clear. The engines were running perfectly. Nothing suggested that disaster was only minutes away. But hidden inside the aircraft's tail was a tiny defect that no one knew existed. It had been waiting for years. And today, it was about to destroy the airplane. At exactly 3:16 p.m., passengers heard what sounded like a bomb. A massive explosion echoed through the cabin. The aircraft lurched violently. People screamed as the plane rolled unexpectedly. In the cockpit, warning lights illuminated everywhere. The crew quickly discovered the problem. The tail-mounted engine had exploded. Fragments of the engine flew like bullets through the aircraft. One piece struck the hydraulic lines, then another, and another. Within seconds, all three independent hydraulic systems failed. This had never happened before. Aircraft designers believed such a failure was impossible. Without hydraulics, the pilots could no longer control the rudder. The airplane had effectively become a giant flying missile. Captain Haynes pulled the control wheel. Nothing. He pushed it forward. Nothing. The pedals wouldn't move the aircraft. Every normal control was dead. The DC-10 began turning slowly to the right. Then it started descending. Inside the cabin, passengers felt the aircraft swaying uncontrollably. Some prayed. Others wrote farewell letters to their families. Many believed they would never see home again. Back in the cockpit, the crew refused to give up. Then fate delivered an unexpected miracle. An off-duty DC-10 flight instructor named Fitch was traveling as a passenger. He rushed into the cockpit and offered his help. Together, the four men began attempting something no pilot had ever been trained to do. With every flight control destroyed, only one thing still worked: the two wing-mounted engines. The crew discovered that increasing power on one engine would make the aircraft turn. Reducing power on the opposite engine could slowly steer it. Instead of using the controls, they flew the aircraft using only engine thrust. Every turn took enormous effort. Every correction came several seconds late. The aircraft continued descending towards Sioux City, Iowa. Air traffic controllers cleared every runway. Fire trucks lined the airport. Hundreds of emergency workers waited. No one knew whether the aircraft could even reach the runway. The pilots had only one chance. As Flight 232 approached the airport, the aircraft was descending far too fast. It was rolling from side to side. The nose kept dropping. The pilots struggled desperately to slow it down. Passengers held hands. Many whispered final prayers. The runway appeared ahead. For one brief moment, it looked possible. Then, the right wing dipped sharply. The wings struck the runway. The aircraft spun violently. It burst into a massive fireball. The fuselage broke apart into several pieces. Smoke and flames filled the sky. It was one of the most horrifying crashes ever captured on live television. Against every expectation, the crash was not the end. Out of the 296 people on board, 185 survived. Emergency crews reached the wreckage within moments. Many passengers escaped through broken sections of the aircraft before the fire spread. Although 111 people lost their lives, aviation experts believe that almost everyone would have died without the extraordinary teamwork of Captain Al Haynes, First Officer Bill Records, Flight Engineer Dudley Dvorak, and off-duty instructor Dennis Fitch. The investigation later revealed that a microscopic crack inside the tail engine's fan disc had slowly grown over years until it finally shattered in flight. The disaster transformed aviation safety. Aircraft inspections became far more advanced. Engine manufacturing standards improved, and pilots around the world began training for failures once thought impossible. United Airlines Flight 232 remains one of history's greatest examples of courage under unimaginable pressure. It proved that even when hope seems gone, human skill, teamwork, and determination can still save lives. Because sometimes the greatest miracle isn't avoiding disaster. It's refusing to give up when disaster has already begun.